Hey, how's it going everyone? Today is a short video to show my approach to recording when I'm recording different styles. Now, jamming with a band and coming up with something by listening to the drums and the guitar or whatever instrument is carrying the chords and the melody is one thing, but when you're recording, it's slightly different because this recording likely is going to outlive you. So we've got to make sure it's perfect. Our best expression of the bass or whatever we want to do goes onto that recording. So we might try and structure it slightly differently, try and take the listener on more of a journey through the bass line. Now the bass, obviously in a lot of tracks you record, is a supporting instrument, so you've got to make sure you underpin the harmony, fit in with everything perfectly. But you know, it's your opportunity to express as well. So I've got a track from a friend in Zimbabwe, Monomukundu, great guitarist and producer. I haven't listened to it yet, but it goes like this. I want to show you exactly my frame of mind and my thought process as I record. So this is a Zimbabwean groove. Instantly I can hear, and this is because I've done enough training that that chord progression is 1, 4, 1, 5. Okay, so cool. So we can say that there's kind of like an intro for like 8 bars, then that drum roll comes in. Before you play, you should always think. Yeah, that's a habit some people get into badly. They just start playing instantly before they've analysed what's going on. Now, think about, so now the guitar has gone to a higher part, so we know there's probably no vocal, it's probably just a guitar instrumental track. But when that goes high, so that's about 16 bars in, maybe we also want to alternate what we do to support that. So we've got drum kit, there's a shaker in there, very subtle shaker. What else have we got? We've got guitar. So here the guitar drops out, or one of the guitars drops out, and we've got some kind of keyboard synth sound thing. Is that, or is that a guitar with a strange sound? So there's one guitar in there, kind of the rhythm part. So the lead has dropped out here. So maybe that's a space to fill up with the bass. We might think, okay, is that a space where we could take something more melodic? I mean, there's a lot of delay on that guitar, so maybe it's a space to actually drop the bass out and leave space for that. There the lead comes back in with the melody. So that lead guitar is the lead instrument, so we treat that like a vocal in terms of how we would sit behind that. So cool, so it's in G, that's our chord progression, G major, C, G, D. Okay. Cool. That's the end of the track. I can see the sound waves, so I know what's coming. So, okay. So now we've got a kind of outline of the track. We need definitely 2 different bass lines, because when that guitar goes up into the high part, we want to acknowledge that as well, and and change what we do to go with it, to show that we're not just playing the same line as the intensity and the frequency goes up on that guitar. We want to match that on the bass as well. So okay, let's hear it again and see what we come up with. Oops, I've got to unmute that track. And so I'm hearing ba bum 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 bum. take that up. And then hear the guitar. I can see the sound waves, so I can see the intensity is about to go up. Okay, so that kind of fits. I mean, it fits. It's not that interesting. So here's that kind of space where the lead guitar's dropped out. So before we just start chucking in bits of bass that don't even fit, we should think, what's the purpose of this section of the song? Okay, first thing, obviously it's a breakdown, okay? It's not a space for the bass to do a solo. If it was, there would probably be more space, yeah? Because when we're doing a solo on the bass, we need a bit more sort of frequency room to sort of shine through, and if we're going to be dominant in the mix. So you might just think, be down there. And when this guitar comes back in, it's kind of there. That where that drum feel comes in is where we that's okay, it fits, but it's just, it's not, there's nothing really interesting I'm doing. Okay. Cool. So how will we make something more interesting? So basically what I was doing there with the G, C and D major chords, actually the only notes I was using, apart from when I was doing that little slide, all of the notes I was using were just notes from the chord, yeah, the chord tones. So when it was G major, I was only using really G, B, D, and a higher G or a low D example. So that's a very safe place to play, and you know, the bass is it's a supporting role. The guitar is the lead instrument, so we don't want to try and get in the way of that. But when we start going into the territory of using the other notes in the scale, like the second or the sixth, maybe different sort of flavors start to come out a bit. So one way I try and look for inspiration sometimes is using the voice. Yeah, use the voice to because the voice as an instrument is completely free. You know, you're not stuck to any limitations to the instrument, like the length of the fretboard or the way the strings are tuned together or anything like that. I find it quite a hard instrument to use. Yeah, I find the bass very easy, but the good thing about the voice is we can just be quite melodically free, and maybe by humming or singing something, we can come up with a line, yeah, which has a completely different to a sort of theoretical line, which is thinking about the chord tones. So here's the track again. So I was thinking at the start, do something. There's a drum roll coming. Okay, so that's the first thing that came into my mind. So that works kind of as an idea over the rhythm section, the rhythm guitar part. Over this lead line it doesn't, because the guitar is high. We can't be getting in the way of that, so we want to be playing something more steady here. We could do some of those great Babachero, Alec Machesso style, machine gun. You know, you've seen him doing those. He line you up and shoot you down. Maybe that's kind of thing work here, some kind of rhythmical. And then so I think that actually works, because I was thinking we need something more interesting here. But let's leave it to the guitar. Guitar can do the interesting bit. So we'll try and do a combination of those lines now. So basically that was the thing. I was thinking, oh, how can I make this more interesting? Sometimes means, how can I make this more complicated? But we don't want to make it more complicated, because it's going to ruin the track. Yeah, you know, the guitar is the lead instrument. Let's let it do that. So we're going to have a bit of sort of low space at the start, and when that drum fill comes, we'll play something slightly more interesting up here with the and then we soften it out into a purely rhythmical part, bass line, when the guitar goes to that high lead line. Yeah, because we don't get in the way of that. And then we'll drop out, we'll do some Alec Machesso inspired slides, and then we'll just sort of this kind of thing at the top, and then we'll send it back to Clive and see what he thinks. Hopefully he will like it. Okay, here's the track. That wasn't it. It was something like that. Then I can't remember what it was now. It was and then we come. See, now I've been talking and playing, I kind of lost that inspiration. Luckily it was recorded earlier. And that's it. And here we go to our last. Right, I think that take was a lot worse than the one just before, so let me try and figure those bits out. So okay, so we can do that kind of thing in the breakdown. So the main bit that I messed up was when in this sort of second 8-bar section, I had that kind of nice thing that came from the melody I was humming. That was how did it go? So if that's our chord progression, I was humming around the D. It's sometimes nice if we've got a chord progression that's changing and we play the same line over it. It's going to sound slightly different over the C chord and the D chord. Yeah, those notes are going to resonate slightly differently against those chords. Because that E is quite nice over the C major. But over D major it's the ninth. Does that fit? Does that fit? Let's listen. That would sound nice, and then on the next time, harmonizing it. It'd be nice to go over the F sharp over the D. Cool, so that would work. So we go. Is that going to fit? No. It's too much. The bass is trying to take the kind of forefront. And then we into a bass line. Right, let's try it, yeah? We were experimenting here. We're all friends. It's all going to be good. How do I move that? Give me a second. Sorry, it's a bit complicated doing this while it's playing, but no worries, we'll sort it out. Okay. Alright, we're ready. Here it comes. Let's try. If it goes wrong, we're just going to go back to a simple safe bass line because it's Saturday, I've got things to do, and I want to get this get this done. Here we go. Does that fit? No, it doesn't. Not at all. So, I'll tell you what we're going to do. Rather than go through the track all the way again, let's just get it right. Sorry about that. We're looking for perfection, but we also don't want to spend the whole day here. So, right, so basically what happened there, I tried to do something fancy, it didn't work. That's fine as long as you recognize it doesn't work, and then you reevaluate your bass line, and then you change what you need to do to make it a bass line that does work, which 9 times out of 10 is just keep it simple. Yeah, don't try and be too fancy unless it's your solo. That fits, and then I would just put a bit more intensity but I'd keep the kind of rhythmical structure, and where I am on the neck more similar. Maybe that was too many variations in there. Okay, so here comes the breakdown. See, that doesn't work as nicely as the first time I did it. Because I guess I was following that inspiration. Now I'm just trying to do something I was doing before. Cool. Actually, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. That's that's a very good lesson I just taught myself. So if I'm trying to copy the inspiration of something I did before and it's not working, fine, forget it, start with something, a new kind of inspiration. Yeah. So what I'm going to do when I get to that point, I'm just going to do something completely different than what I was trying to do there, and I will I will just follow the moment. I will think about how I was kind of inspired in that first moment when I got to that point and the first time I heard it, and I was like, oh yeah, I could do something like this, and it worked really well. That's fine. We'll do something again like that, but it'll be new and it'll be fresh because now we've been through the track like 5 times. It's only 3 chords. I'm getting a bit lost of inspiration. I'm trying too hard to sort of perfect it when really it needs that natural, organic approach. So let's just go for it. Tell you what, I am a perfectionist and I did a wrong note, okay, so I'm going to get it right. Let me just have a bit of an earthing problem with the treble pickup on this bass. Okay. Alright guys, this is the one. No messing around now. Let's get it right. Okay, cue the track. Here it comes. Get ready. It's going to be good. Keep those slides because I like them. It would be so nice if a drum roll came right then, but it's 2 bars afterwards, I think. Okay, that was all right. I liked what I did in the middle. Can't remember what it was, but that thing kind of fitted. What I'm actually going to do now is I'm going to listen back to that once. Cool. That was all right. I just listened back. That's not too bad. I'm happy with that. There's obviously little bits that could be improved, but overall, the feel when it's kind of at the right volume mixed in with the track, feels like it works. It supports enough, and it's kind of exciting enough that it's brings out a bit of sort of my own style, me as a bass player in there. So it's kind of unique to me, which is good. Thought what I might as well do just to finish up. Let's say, for example, if I sent that back to Clive and he said, "That's rubbish, man. What are you doing? Let's try again." Then how would I come up with something that's completely different? Yeah, maybe not completely different, but different enough. So let's just try something completely different enough. Okay, come on, track. Where are you? Okay, so here we go. So I was thinking I could kind of reharmonize a bit by kind of substituting the C major for an E minor or an E minor feel. So I don't know what I'm doing here. Okay, so the plan was to do something different, wasn't it? Okay. That's nice. Oops, lost it there. There we go. That bass line. Oh, that's nice. So actually, if you've got a bass line, you can think, oh, are there any notes I can take away from it and it still work? So can I leave out the first note? Found one now. Interesting when you completely step away from the thought process of I need to do something right, I need to do something that's going to fit. The last bit that comes out, I think that's the champion. That's the bass line I like the most, for sure. I mean, that could work in so many genres. Would it work up high as well? Okay, absolute last take, okay? Because now I'm really liking that line. It's a classic thing that I learnt from Zimbabwean music when I first started, is that during the vocal section, when you're really going to be doing that supporting role, you can play one bass line low down, octave, so yeah, somewhere down here, and then when it gets to the dance section, you just take the same bass line up an octave, and it fits really nicely. It's a thing I've heard in Zimbabwean music work really well. That bass line, you know, when I'm saying about the vocal section, we could say when the guitar melody is playing the lower thing, I could play that lower line, and when he goes up high, I could try going up an octave. We'll see how that sounds, and then sort of keep that as the sort of main steady bass line, and then do little bits of improvisation around there, but keep that as the sort of foundation. Okay, here we go. Ooh, I'll tell you what I want to do. Sorry. What I want to do, I want to come in with. I think that'll work. Trust me with this one. Here we go. Last take. Okay, then we're going out for a drink because it's Saturday. Last take, right? This is what it gets like sometimes when you try and get it right and perfect it in the studio. You never have this problem live because you just go for it. Okay. I'm only going to go up when he goes up to that high part. Wait for that roll. Keep missing that last drum, that kick drum on the end. It should be wow, boom. It's kind of, I've got to go sort of boom, because it's not on the one, it's like on the four end. But yeah, that's it. So that's my approach. You've had a good look inside my brain, inside my thought process. If a track comes along, this is what I do. I sometimes try and come up with a safe kind of bass take, and then I think, okay, let's make it a bit more interesting. And at times I think, okay, you're trying to get too complicated. You must be aware of that. If that happens, then you go back, start again, or you simplify. Yeah. So let me know in the comments below if you've got any questions, if there's any specific. Maybe we can do this again if there are some other specific styles you want to see. See how I would record over that, or you've got some tracks, you're a producer or someone, get in touch. And that was a bit of fun. That was a good bit of practice actually for the afternoon. So thanks very much. Thank you, Clive. I hope you like this track. And see you guys soon.